Prime Big Deal Days is coming October 8th and 9th. Woohoo! Which can lead to involuntary deal squeals, like the infamous deal on a new massager squeal. Yeah! Save big on Prime Big Deal Days, October 8th and 9th.
Want to make a podcast? Spotify's got a platform that lets you make one super easily, distribute it everywhere, and even earn money, all in one place for free. It's called Spotify for Podcasters, and here's how it works. Spotify for Podcasters lets you record and edit your podcasts right from your phone or your computer. So no matter what your setup is like, you can start creating today. Then you can distribute your podcast to Spotify and everywhere else podcasts are heard. Video podcasts are also available on Spotify, and when you want to take conversations with your fans to the next level, Q&As and polls are the best way to get them talking. With Spotify for Podcasters, you can earn money in a variety of ways, including ads and podcast subscriptions. Ever since I discovered Spotify for Podcasters, I feel so supported in the creation and distribution of my show. Spotify for Podcasters hosts masterclasses, office hours, and more to help creators develop and fine-tune their skills. I highly recommend you give it a try. Download the Spotify for Podcasters app or go to spotify.com/podcasters to get started. You're listening to 80/20. It's 25 days of podcasts. I would definitely have to say that I spend about 80% of my time in the 20s. Okay, but like, what does that even mean?
I absolutely love Christmas.
Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to back to the show. Happy Monday. Happy Podmas Day 19, 20. Honestly, I've kind of lost track. I also took this past weekend off, and I'll kind of explain why once we get into this episode. But thank you so much for clicking on today's episode. I hope that you guys are having a great day. I gotta set the scene for you guys. I'm currently sitting on the floor in my bedroom, and I just finished doing tons and tons of wrapping for Christmas. So I'm kind of in like a crafty and creative mood. I do a lot of creative things digitally, but I don't often do a lot of things that are creative physically. And so wrapping presents made me forget how much I love arts and crafts. Like, do you guys remember art class in like kindergarten and first grade? You would do like watercolors and painting and paper mache and all these fun things. And I loved art class, but now I don't do arts and crafts. So I'm going to take a little like holiday break after Christmas, which I'll talk about in a second, but I am going to make it a goal of mine to do more arts and crafts. I'm recording this on Sunday. I did a bit of Christmas shopping yesterday, so Saturday. Confession, I started and finished my Christmas shopping yesterday. Well, maybe not finished. I have like a couple miscellaneous things that I got to get, but I Amazon Primed a lot of stuff that should be here by like the end of the week, which I guess is perfect timing for Christmas on, I guess, a week from now. That's crazy. Guys, this year flew by. I am just shocked at how quickly 2022 came and went. But anyway, I did a lot of my Christmas shopping. Just to kind of paint this picture for you guys, I literally started my day yesterday, like 8:30 a.m. I had a coffee in my hand, and then I went to all these different stores. I did Home Depot, I did Anthropologie, I did Williams-Sonoma, I did Target, I did Marshalls, Home Goods, HomeSense, Lululemon, I did Zara. But because I was kind of early in my day, I didn't realize that a lot of stores didn't open until like 10 or 11. So to kind of kill time, I popped into stores that I hadn't really been in before. I've heard of paper stores before, but I've never been in one. And so I popped in, and guys, it was like wrapping paper up and down the walls. It was kind of like a more modern Hallmark store, I guess. I don't know. I don't know if that's necessarily how I would put it, but just lots and lots of like wrapping paper materials, or like gift wrapping materials. And so I kind of went a little crazy and crafty, and I got like 4 different types of wrapping paper. I got all kinds of pretty bows and gift tags and sparkly things and glitter, and I just had a ball wrapping everything. Like, I don't want people to open these gifts because they're wrapped, at least in my opinion, so good that I just want them to be like wrapped and pretty forever. It was just super fun to be creative and crafty and like tie all the ribbons and bows, and I had some good music going. Oh, also, I spent the majority of my afternoon watching Harry and Meghan on Netflix. Guys, I haven't really followed the royal family too much, but their whole story, I just find it so fascinating and interesting. When I popped on Netflix and I saw that they had a documentary series, I was super interested. So I've been watching that. I've got one more episode to go. I've decided to save it until this evening when I'm done with everything, done with work. I'm gonna like watch that last episode and then go to sleep tonight. But I started and finished that this weekend, which is so weird because if you know me, you know that I don't watch TV. I guess that's kind of like a good segue into today's episode. I feel like I'm entering into what I'm calling like hibernation mode or my hibernation era. So probably for like the past week or so, I have just been feeling exhausted, like fatigued, maybe burned out. I don't know. As the year is wrapping up, I've kind of reflected on everything going on over the past 365 days, and I genuinely don't think I've truly sat down and rested in a very long time. And I don't want to sit here and be like, oh, I work the hardest and I've done the most and this, that, and the other thing, because we all work hard. We all do the most, and we all definitely don't take enough breaks. So that's not what I'm saying. I've just been incredibly reflective over the work that I've put into a lot of areas of my life. And I've just finally kind of come down a little bit. I don't know, it's like you only have enough gas in the tank to travel at 100 miles an hour for so long, and then eventually you gotta stop and refuel. And I've definitely topped off the tank a couple times, but I think it's time to like take the car in for a detail, an oil change, like rotate the tires, like the whole 9 yards. Over the past week, I had a lot of podcast episodes kind of like pre-banked, and I was going to record more and kind of like use the banked ones kind of sparingly and do this and do that. And then, you know, life happens and they say when it rains, it pours. And so things just started to happen in my life, and I just finally realized that I am exhausted. And it's the holiday season, right? So I've got commitments and things going on, and you know, I feel the need to give to other people and spend time here and do this and do that. And I'm like, holy shit, what am I doing? Like, this isn't fun for anybody. Like, the light is literally glowing E, and on the dashboard it says fuel necessary, and I'm going to soon end up on the side of the road, and I'm gonna have to phone a friend, and they're gonna have to bring me one of those little red gas containers, and they're gonna have to just give me like 2 gallons so I can get to the nearest gas station, and it's just gonna be kind of a shit show. So I have decided to call it a wrap early on Podmas and just kind of like tuck myself away and take a break. Like, this is crazy to me that I look back at my year and I haven't taken a break. I wrote up a little something on my notes app because that's what I do. I'm going to post this probably tomorrow when this episode goes up. It says, thank you all so much for listening and loving this year's Podmas. I knew going into this that it would challenge me, stretch my creativity, and help me reach new audiences, and it did exactly that, so thank you. Per usual, I've spread myself too thin and quickly found it hard to actually enjoy the holiday season. So I've decided to practice what I preach and notice when it's time to take rest and wrap up the series a bit earlier than expected. You can still expect a new weekly episode on Thursday, then I'm going to take some time off to recharge and rest. Love you guys lots. See you in 2023. That's the press release. That's the announcement. We're going to have this episode and then Thursday's episode, and then I'm just going to take a break. And I so appreciate you guys being patient with me and supporting Podmas and supporting the show. And I wish I had the capacity to do it all. Like, I wish I had 5 clones of myself so I could do it all. And I know that that's probably like a universal feeling because you guys have stuff going on in your lives that I know you wish that you could give 100% in every single area too. And unfortunately, that's just not the case. So that being said, how the heck does one come down from a busy year and rest and recharge and feel good to go January 2nd or 3rd or whatever day is like back in the office day? I often look to nature to make sense of things, and something in nature that I find really fascinating is that a lot of animals will either hibernate or they will migrate. And as nice as it would be to migrate to like Miami for the wintertime, that's not possible. So we're going to talk about hibernation instead of migration. So interestingly enough, the Latin translation of hibernation actually means to pass the winter. And oftentimes when the sun sets earlier and the days are darker and it's way colder, we tend to all kind of like crawl into these little shells. And I was scrolling Instagram the other day because, mind you, all last week, I'm like turtling. I'm like, I don't want to be seen by anyone. Like, I don't want to put myself out there. I don't want to record. I don't want to post on Instagram. I don't really want to do anything. I literally just want to be in my house by myself, maybe phone a friend once in a while, and just be alone. I was scrolling Instagram and I came across this post and it said, actually, let me see if I saved it because that would be really helpful rather than me just trying to recall exactly what this post said. Found the post. Here we go. The feminine urge to mute the noise, chaos, and stress during the winter season is normal and biologically appropriate. Does anyone else feel like they just need a break? There's so much fantastic and well-meaning information for everything: nutrition, lifestyle, holiday, stress management, etc. And I hope that my page is a good resource for women wanting to understand their whatever, blah, blah, blah. But it's also completely normal and biologically appropriate to crave times of peace without an influx of new information. It seems like winter is one of those times, especially as the holidays approaches. If you think of the year in cycles, obviously, like, the month goes in cycles, the year goes in cycles, seasons go in cycles. The winter season is essentially like the menstrual phase of the year. So kind of like when you're on your period, you just want to kind of crawl into a ball and like just turn inward and not really pay attention to the outside world. Same thing happens with nature and in winter. So obviously we know, like, bears, they hibernate. They go into a cave, and I think that their hibernation season is like November through March, which I think is a long one. So much like bears, it is kind of normal for you to just want to chill during winter. And it's crazy to me that we put all this pressure on ourselves to be the busiest during the holidays. And so for me, reading that, I was like, I don't know, I was almost like mad at myself. I was like, why did I set myself up during one of the busiest times of year to be the busiest? But I also can't be mad at myself because I feel like to some degree I've kind of put my dreams on the back burner for this past year because I've been hyper focused on obviously a new job, a new city, new people, new places, and I've just kind of been focused on fun when in reality, like, I've got shit I want to get done. I've got dreams I want to chase, and I haven't been doing that. And so I was like, okay, Podmas, let's go, pedal to the metal. And then it's like, okay, where's the balance between grinding and getting after it and going hard and training hard and doing all these things and achieving the goals and hitting the milestones versus, okay, I truly need to just rest because now I'm burned out. And I feel like I'm either 100% or 0%, and there's like no in between. So when I started to do a little bit of deeper digging into managing my energy, depending on what time of year it is, depending on what's going on in my own body, I realized that there can be a happy medium, but you kind of have to work with where you're at right now in what season of life, figuratively and literally. So that being said, I kind of think I'm entering into what I'm going to call my hibernation era. And that doesn't mean that I'm running away. It doesn't mean that I'm going anywhere. It doesn't mean that the podcast is gonna just plateau. It just means that I'm gonna chill for a second. I think it's like Freaky Friday where she's like, can you like chill for a sec? That is what the world is telling me to do. Just chill for a sec. So what exactly does my hibernation era look like? You might be wondering. Funny enough, I just posted it on Instagram like 20 minutes ago for the first time in probably like 5 days, which is crazy because I never take time off Instagram. But I think my hibernation era kind of looks a lot like not posting as much. It kind of looks like maybe not even taking pictures, maybe just putting my phone away for a little while. I think that there's this constant pressure to post everything and just always be on, especially in the jobs that I have. And sometimes you just gotta put the camera away. Like, you cannot possibly always be on. So for me, it's just like not posting for a little bit and knowing that that's okay. I saw this thing on LinkedIn the other day, and it was this, I think it was like an email marketing guy, and he's probably just pushing his email marketing software. And he was like, make sure that you're sending out something every single day and posting on social and doing this and doing that. It's 30 days until no one cares. Like, in 30 days, people are going to forget about you. They're going to move on. And that kind of scared me a little bit because I was like, holy crap, if I take, 5 days off of social, that's like a lot, because then 25 days from 5 days, no one's going to care about me. And then I just had this realization, like, really? Who cares? If the people who watch you actually like your content, they'll understand when you need a break. And maybe this guy was coming from like a business perspective. You know, when you have a personal brand, and in the new year, I definitely want to talk more about building a personal brand. But when you are a human and you speak to other humans and your social accounts are catered towards other human beings, you kind of build this bond, you build this relationship. And I don't think that taking a month off means that people are going to stop caring about you. Maybe the people who really don't actually care about you. But I think that the people who truly like what you have to say and like your content, they'll care. So even if you need to take like 6 months off, people will still care when you come back, if they like what you have to say and what you have to say is valuable. So if you are a creator and you're listening to this, take 5 days off, take 10 days off, take a month off, take 6 months off, if that's what you need to do. So the first piece of my hibernation era looks a lot like taking time offline and just putting my phone away and just truly living in the moment, not posing for a picture, not like piecing together the perfect flat lay with my coffee and my notebook and this and that and the other thing, and literally just like enjoying my cup of coffee without having the pressure to take a picture of it. I think in my hibernation era, there's going to be a lot of time spent getting re-inspired. Like I mentioned before, I spend a lot of time creatively outputting, but I don't spend a lot of time creatively inputting. This looks a lot like reading, maybe flipping through magazines, maybe watching more TV shows and documentaries, and getting inspired again to create, like truly filling my cup with content that is inspiring and motivating and exciting, and not just mindlessly scrolling Instagram. Kind of to piggyback off of that, I want to spend a lot of time focusing on the things that give me energy. So not only is that like reading a good book or watching a cool TV show or getting re-inspired again through new music, I think it looks a lot like those kind of cheesy self-care tactics, like taking a bubble bath or like going for a long walk. As kind of corny as those things sound, if you do it right, it truly can be a good reset. Because it is the holidays, I have a lot of opportunities coming up to spend time with family. I think just really plugging into that, being with the people around me and not worrying about what the next thing is or what the next work to do that I have is going to be really important for me. Maybe like sitting down and watching a movie or baking cookies together or cooking together, or I don't know, going bowling or something, like going mini golfing. There's so many opportunities to just be with the people that I love and so many fun things to do. And I just want to be so present, so offline. I guess last kind of bullet that I wanted to touch on is that not only am I going into my hibernation era and where I want to feel rested and recharged, I also want to kind of get myself out of a funk, okay? And when I say this, I wouldn't say I'm like sad right now, but I wouldn't say that I'm like overly joyed or overly happy or feeling super festive. Like I'm just kind of, I feel like I'm kind of coasting, but I'm also kind of moody. I'm kind of in my feels. I'm not really like a pleasure to have in class, if you will. I'm kind of in a little bit of like a sad girl era. And maybe it's the weather, maybe it's just things in my life, but I need a little bit of a mindset reset. I'm going to post an episode later this week that are like micro habits that you need to start before 2023. So in that, we'll get super micro, not to use the term and the definition, but we'll get super micro as to what exactly I'm going to do, like go to the gym, sit in the sauna for 20 minutes, like that kind of stuff. But kind of, I guess, the 30,000 foot view of my mindset reset is reminding myself that I can reset whenever I want to. When I was planning this episode, I started to get mad at myself because it was like, I feel like you reset, you recharge, you rest, you do this all the freaking time. But that's just kind of life. Like, we hit the reset button every day when we go to sleep, and then we wake up in the morning and do it all over again. So don't be mad at yourself for needing to rest and reset as many times as you need to. You could do that at the top of the hour every day if you needed to, if that's what it takes to get through. So I'm like, don't beat yourself up for needing to rest and reset. Number 2 is understanding that sometimes less is more. And there are like a million healthy habits and things that I can do to make my life better. But the more you just pile stuff onto your plate, the more overwhelming it gets. And when you start to just strip away the stress of having to do all these things, life actually gets a lot easier. So instead of pressuring myself to do A, B, C, D, E, F, G, I could literally just do nothing and sit on my couch and watch Meghan and Harry and wrap Christmas gifts and just relax for a second. I don't always have to be doing something to improve my life. And then number 3, I just have to be nice to myself. Like the amount of times that I just beat myself up over not hitting the gym or not having a good workout or not having time to make dinner or not having the whatever to do whatever. It's exhausting. And always being in this constant battle with yourself, or I guess I'll speak for myself, always being this constant battle with myself over not being able to check the boxes. It's like my expectations are so unrealistically high that I can't even meet them for myself. So just stripping away all the extra, hitting the reset button, hitting the refresh button, turning the computer off and turning it back on again, and just starting fresh for a good, peaceful beginning to 2023. So that is what it means in a nutshell to enter my hibernation era. And I don't know how long my hibernation era is going to last. I don't know how active I'll be on social. I am taking time off starting the 23rd until the 2nd. So I'm just going to truly be off and enjoying time with my family and my friends and just living life. I might go on a couple trips. I don't know. I have some friends in different cities, so that might be kind of fun. I don't really know. We'll just kind of see where life takes me. And that's the fun part, I guess. So there will be a new episode up this coming Thursday. Like I said, it's going to be micro habits to start your 2023 right. And then that will be the last episode of the year, which is crazy. Thank you guys so much for such an incredible, beautiful, crazy, wild year. I was looking back at a post from May and we had just hit 300,000 downloads and we're actually about to hit 1 million downloads, which is like crazy how that works in just 6 months, how much we've grown. So thank you guys so much for that. Thank you for being here. Thank you for rating the show. Thank you for dropping a review. Thank you for sharing it with your friends. Thank you for following along. I am so blessed and so grateful, and I cannot imagine what life would be without this show. So thank you so much. To just kind of show you guys a little bit of appreciation, or a lot of bit of appreciation, I am going to do a giveaway. So details on that will be in Thursday's episode, and I will also announce it in the group chat too. So definitely be sure to join the 80/20 group chat. A link to that will be in the show notes, and I will post about the giveaway in there. It's one of my favorite things that I use every single morning, and I figured that it would be a nice little gift to give back to you guys and say thank you for listening and thank you for loving on the show. So stay tuned for that. I love you guys so much. I hope that you have a great rest of your day, and I will talk to you on Thursday. Bye.